Welcome back to Wiseman Company, everybody. Ben Brown here again. This video is going to be about my year at the Tactical Games. This is the first complete year of the Tactical Games. It has grown very, very quickly. It's very young in as far as the shooting sports competitions go, and it offers a lot of unique things. I'm going to be a real straight shooter with you guys in this video, and I'm going to be pretty blunt, mainly because I owe it to you guys. I want you to know exactly what you're getting into. And I'm always a straight shooter, but I really need to drive some points across again because this is an investment of your money and time. And at its core, the Tactical Games have done a lot of great things for me. I've met a lot of great people. I've changed my fitness level has completely done a 180. I was heading down a kind of a rough track a year ago. I was really just kind of slacking off in the fitness department. I wouldn't say I was, obese or out of shape completely, but I was definitely heading down a path that wasn't conducive to living a healthy lifestyle. So the Tactical Games has really changed my perspective. My new take on fitness and discipline has also changed my outlook on personal defense and personal preparedness. I think those are very important components if we're talking about, being prepared to defend yourself or your family members. So again, the Tactical Games have, right off the bat, they have done at the least that for me. First, we're going to start off with the format of the Tactical Games. You get a lot of questions about how it works, how it runs. The Tactical Games is very young. It's only a year old, and the format right now is touch and go at best. The traditional format is 6 stages over 2 days. There are 4 different divisions: Masters, which is 45 and up; Intermediate, which is basically your entry level; Female Division, which it doesn't matter what age group you are as a female, they just have one division; and then there's Elite, and Elite is your strongest class. You carry more weight. The shooting on some stages is a little bit more rigorous, and it obviously draws a lot of great competitors. The field is very, very strong in the Elite class. I did my first match in Intermediate. I won first place. After you win in Intermediate, you have to go to Elite. So I moved up to Elite, got 3rd place in Mississippi, and have had a bunch of top 10 finishes, top 5 finishes since then. Scoring is pretty simple. They're going to take your overall time, and you can either plus or subtract time by misses. Misses are 10 seconds, so you're going to get 10 seconds added to your time. Or you can get bonuses. There's bonuses riddled throughout the stages where you can make up time. Usually they're a little bit more difficult of a shot that you have to make, and you'll get some additional time taken off your overall time. So there's some strategy there. In the Tactical Games, there's a saying: you can't lift your way to victory, you can't shoot your way to victory. You have to be good at both. I've seen a lot of strong people come into the Tactical Games and think they're just going to outlift everybody, outrun everyone, and then they shoot poorly. You can't outlift or outrun a 10-second miss. So you have to be very competent in both shooting and your physical abilities. Stage layout is another point of contention for some people at the Tactical Games. Depending on the facility, you could get really, really cool stages. You'll shoot some things and do some things that you can't do anywhere else. I've gotten to shoot off top of 10-story towers, crawl through tunnels, run through backcountry woods and over hills, climb walls, all sorts of crazy stuff, depending on the facility. Some stages, there's not a lot of creativity that goes into them because it's a very basic layout. It's a very basic either bay or facility, and what you're going to be doing is pretty straightforward. So as far as the stage layout, it is a mixed bag. You can get anything. Again, it really depends on the facility. Each stage is going to run between 5 and 20 minutes, depending on what it is. Obviously, your longer movements, like your 2-mile movements, which you can guarantee there's going to be at least one stage that has that at a tactical games, they're going to be obviously in the 20 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on what it is. I have gone as far as 5 miles in the elite class for a long stage. So stage layout and time really is dictated by the facility. All right, let's talk about some of the required skills getting into the tactical games. Everyone always asks, like, I don't know if I'm able to do this, or, what do I need to work on prior going to the tactical games, or I don't know if I should be an intermediate or elite. And I'm going to just be real honest with you. If you have to ask the question, should I be an intermediate or elite, you should go into intermediate. The elite class is a whole nother ball game. I was very, very surprised at the increased difficulty moving from intermediate to elite. Obviously, elite competitors are going to carry more weight on certain stages, and the shooting is going to be a little bit more strict on certain stages. But again, the competitors that you're going to go up against in elite class are no joke. Any one of them could take podium anytime, just depending on how it shakes out. All these guys are very fit, and they're very, very good shooters. So skill-wise, if you're trying to figure out if you're intermediate or elite, obviously if you're Masters 45 and up, I would say do that. Why not? Female. But the big question is intermediate or elite. If you have to ask the question, just do intermediate. If you do great in intermediate and you feel confident after that, go ahead and move up to elite. If you already know you're elite and you know who you are, jump in, see how it works out for you. Some other required skills. You have to be able to rope climb. There will be rope climbs at every tactical games. It is a staple. And if you can't rope climb, the penalty is 15 burpees, which is exhausting when you have full kit on, and it just takes longer. It's going to set you back. So many people come to the tactical games and they can't climb the rope, or they were able to climb the rope prior to the tactical games because they did it at their gym with no kit on, or they weren't fatigued. So not only do you have to be able to climb a rope, but you have to be able to do it in your gear, and you have to be able to do it when you are completely exhausted. It is a challenge. I'm not saying it's easy, but make no mistake, there will be rope climbs at the tactical games, and you should be able to do them. You have to be able to handle a gun safely. Manual of arms, basic stuff, is key to the tactical games. They have what they call big boy rules at the tactical games, but obviously there's a lot of different variables going on. People are tired, you're running around, you're picking up things. You have to be aware of the condition of your guns. You have to know how to point them, manipulate them safely. So just some basic core skills with handgun or firearm handling is very, very important. Don't take that for granted. I know you guys don't, but it's just something you have to say. You have to be very conscious of what you're doing with your guns under duress. And then finally on the skills category, put in the work before the games. Everyone at the game says, it's a 2-day event, but really it's a 3 or 4 month event because there's so much work that you need to do prior going into it. Cardio is huge. Being able to lift 100 pounds, very, very important. And you have to be able to do this with a 15-pound plate carrier, which is the minimum, your rifle and handgun, ammo, etc. on you. So don't take for granted that you're just fit enough to go into it. I would work very hard and be very disciplined about your physical preparedness going to the tactical games, because I've seen a lot of people drop out, I've seen a lot of people quit, and no one wants to see that. Even other competitors, we're all trying to win, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to get better. And if you quit, if you drop out, obviously that's a waste. You're not finishing the race, you're not seeing what you're made of, you're not learning what you need to improve on. So don't take that for granted. come prepared, come fit, and ready to complete the tactical games. All right, next, let's move on to gear. This is everyone's favorite topic. Everyone has all sorts of strategies and opinions on what to wear, what guns to use, that sort of thing. Tactical games does have certain criteria about firearms and optics. That is changing all the time, from my understanding. Currently, the status quo is red dots on top of rifles, iron sights on top of handguns, and the rifle needs to have a flash hider. Can't run comps or brakes. So very basic weapon setup. That could change in the future. I don't know. From my experience, as far as what I've learned, is keep it simple. Use a handgun, use a rifle that you shoot a lot, that you're familiar with. It's just going to make the experience a whole lot better. Obviously, make sure it's reliable. Your firearms will be put through the ringer. Sand, mud, water, high round counts. Make sure they're reliable. Next in the gear department, plate carrier. Like I said, it's got to be 15 pounds. I was using the Spiritus LV119. I loved it. It's slick. It doesn't catch on stuff. You see some folks come into these events, they got all sorts of gear hanging off of them. By the end of the second day, all that stuff's stripped off because it is just cumbersome to deal with all that equipment going over walls, climbing through tunnels, just running your rifle or handgun. My recommendation would be less is more. Again, keep it simple. Same with your gun belt. I ran one rifle mag on the belt, 2 pistols pouches on the belt. And if I needed more ammo, which you might, I stuffed it in the cummerbund, or I would run one out of a pocket. Just kept it really, really simple. Some stages you'll shoot 80 rounds, some stages you'll shoot 30 rounds. Again, it really depends on the venue and what the judges want to do that day. So as far as gear goes, keep it simple, don't overthink it, make sure you're comfortable in it, try it before you come to the tactical games. The tactical games is a great place to see what you're made of and what your gear is capable of. You'll find out pretty quickly what you need to work on in the future, what gear worked, what didn't, what was a waste of time, what was a waste of money. It is a great place to figure all that stuff out. And it's also very humbling. I've seen a lot of guys come into the tactical games from pretty impressive backgrounds. And, I've seen guys that have a lawn care business beat them badly. And it's fun to watch. And at the end of the day, at the end of the second day, everyone shakes hands, crushes some White Claws, and everybody's buddies. So I just want to say, come into it humbly, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, try to learn from some of the guys that have been doing it a little while now, and try to have fun. We have a couple rules before we set off to the tactical games, and they are: don't get hurt, don't DQ, have fun, don't shoot anybody. Are those the 4 ones we have? What is it?
3 rules.
Oh, 3 rules. Sorry, 3 rules.
What is it?
Have fun. Shoot good. And don't DQ. Okay, 3 of those. Those are the 3. Those are, if you do those, you'll be fine. And make sure you finish. You'll be good. All right, guys, so kind of wrapping up a year in review of the tactical games. There's a lot of great things that come out of it. But again, keep in mind, this is a very, very young competition. It's just completed a year. There is a lot of room for improvement. And again, I just want you guys to know what you're getting into. It is a 2-day event where you might shoot 30 to 40 actual minutes. So 30 to 40 actual minutes of competition. It's a $300 ticket to get in. And then it's your ammo, your travel, your sleeping arrangements, and your food for the weekend. And the weekend honestly turns into a 4-day weekend. It is a real commitment of not only your finances, but your time as well. And I hope in the future that the tactical games will become more efficient in how they run things. Touching on that topic a little bit more, you might wait 3 hours to 5 hours in between a stage. I know that's not maybe in their plans, but I have waited 5 hours in between stages, and it's really hard on the body after you've, you know, gotten sweaty, you've worked really hard, and then you sit still for 5 hours until you go again. These are just some things to consider. And again, I hope in the future that it runs a little bit more efficiently. You are running in 5-man squads at a time, so it's not like a traditional 3-gun match or a handgun match where you run 1 at a time. They are pushing 5 guys through at a time, and they usually have 3 different stages running at a time. So they are moving a lot of people through. In addition to that, they haven't really figured out the scoring. A lot of the times the scoring hasn't been correct, and the whole point of a competition is to find out how you did. You need some sort of measurement. Again, that is a work in progress. That absolutely needs to be fixed. Those are some of the negative things that I've taken away from the tactical games after a year. And again, I just want to be honest with you guys so you know what you're getting into. Some positives: I've really improved my physical abilities. I've really improved my shooting. I've made a ton of great friends through the process. I met Ivan from Kit Badger because of the tactical games, and a lot of other great guys there as well. There's a lot of like-minded people that do the tactical games. Again, they just want to improve themselves and be around people that want to get better. It is an awesome environment to meet like-minded people if you're into this sort of thing. Next year, I don't think I'll do as many tactical games as I did this year. This year I did 6, I believe, or 5. It's really hard on the body. I don't think I could do that many again. Coming out of this last one was challenging. Recovery was slow. Next year I'll probably do 1 or 2. I'll do the one here in Pennsylvania and maybe one other one. But I definitely won't do the amount that I did this year. Do I regret doing any of them? Absolutely not. I'm glad I did every single one. I learned a lot, and again, I met a lot of great people. Guys, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. I'll try to get to them as best I can. There's a lot of information to cover on this topic. Again, it's changing constantly. The games are updating, putting in new rules, taking out rules. They are hiring some new people to help organize and get the games on the right track, which is good. I'll answer the questions as best I can down below. If you want additional information on the tactical games, go to their website. It's thetacticalgames.com, I believe. Go over to Kit Badger, Ivan's YouTube channel. He has a ton of videos on the tactical games, some great information over there. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to Wiseman Company's channel. This has been a great year for our YouTube channel. We appreciate all that support. Go check us out at wisemancompany.com. That's where we sell all our gear. There's a lot of great stuff over there. My name is Ben Brown. We'll see you on the next video.
I felt the squeeze. We're good.
Go, Ivan, go.
All right, this time, competitors ready? You ready? Yeah. Stand by. 3, 2, 1, go! Woo!
Step.
Go faster!
Target.
Shoot our lane, right? Yep. Shoot our lane.
Which one is target 1? What do you think 1 is? They're not numbered, that's great. Which one is 1?
Far left.
Go ahead. I'm catching you. Go. Come on, open it up.
Are these mine?
Don't worry about those.
Yes or no?
Yes. Go. Hold to the rear, weapon on safe, go. Weapon on safe. Who's lane one? Me.
Two.
Me.